What's up?
Hey there.
We are DV. Today is what is today?
It's Wednesday.
Wednesday already?
The 22nd.
Wednesday the 22nd.
My favorite power number.
January.
22. You know.
2025. So yeah,
Today we're talking about non-complacency.
non-complacency.
Not being complacent.
For sure.
You guys twins?
Yeah.
We are.
I was like,
So, yeah, for those of you that don't know, we are twins. DV twins. His name's Twin. My name's Twin.
Yep.
Twins. Twin power. Much love to all the twins out there.
Shout out to all the twins for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so back to what we're talking about here. Non-complacency. I think non-complacency is a major ingredient in success. In any pursuit of progress, non-complacency is essential, right? When I say non-complacency, I mean never being satisfied with enough, right? No such thing as enough, right? We're here to be abundant. We're here to get all that we got coming to us, which is no limit, right? So I don't think complacency can live within that type of environment, and nor should it, because it's a limiting factor in reaching your goals and being successful and seeing all that you're worth. You can't get there with complacency.
For sure.
So for those that don't know what I mean by complacency, what I mean is, here's a good example. You ever heard of like resting on your laurels, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
I've done it before. Once again, only speaking on shit that I know about. Here's a great example. I'm gonna put it out there. I still have to deal with a little bit of guilt from it still, but I'm gonna go and put it out there. When I wrote my book a couple years back, during the COVID time, Self-Investment 101. When I wrote that book and published it and put it out, first couple of weeks it was great. I was doing the marketing for it and it was a good response. I got a lot of good sales rolling in. But months later, as time went on, I got complacent and I didn't keep up that momentum, right? I didn't stay as motivated as I was when I started. And I know that happens with a lot of things. I'm pretty sure you know what I'm talking about if you've ever pursued any type of goals. I know you know what I'm talking about. Let me know in the comments if you agree with if you know what I'm talking about. Share some stories with me, by the way, too, if you know what I'm talking about. Not complacency, yeah. I got complacent, you know. I stopped pushing it, stopped pursuing it. I stopped promoting the book, you know. I was okay with good enough. I had checks coming in, so I got good with that, you know. But as you know, when you do that, eventually shit slows up, and that's what happened. No big deal. But I'm just using it as an example of how non-complacency can ruin your goals, you know, and get you sidetracked. So do not get complacent. Do not get settled with good enough. There's no thing as good enough, you know. You deal with what you got right in front of you, what you're dealing with right now, but don't get complacent and comfortable. Comfortable, that's another word. I guess those kind of can gotta go together. Don't get comfortable. I got a tattoo on me that says, "Comfort is a drug I can't afford." And Lord, do I know it, because I'm always my worst self when I get too comfortable. When I get comfortable at all, or complacent, you know, I'm my worst self. I'm not my best self when I get too comfortable, you know. So, yeah, non-complacency.
Yeah, so another way to say non-complacency is saying
He can't even say the word.
non-complacency.
There you go.
Is basically saying that always be striving for more. I'll always be ready and willing to give just a little bit more.
There you go.
Like, here's a good example. If you're working out and you're trying to put on some muscle, like for real, trying to get some real growth,
Right.
okay, so the best way to do that is you pick a number that works, that's comfortable, right? You pick a number, say you do 10 fucking arm curls, right, the first time, and you do it 2 times, okay? So next week, you do it 3 times.
There you go.
You up the number just a little bit more.
Right.
Like, it's the same way throughout life and
Right.
challenges in your mind.
Right.
You gotta push it a little bit more to get some growth. You know what I mean? So it requires a little wear and tear to get a little growth.
Right. It's the same with your muscles, right? It works the same way.
Same way. You break them down, you give it time, and they build.
And that makes me bring up something else: resistance. Resistance is very important when it comes to growth. Growth cannot happen without resistance, right? I mean, and we could talk about, like we were just talking about our muscles, you know, with that tension, that resistance is what's creating that growth, tearing the muscle down so it can grow back up, you know? And that's important in life. You're gonna deal with resistance. Life comes with a resistance, right? But it's that same resistance is what's helping you grow. So don't shy away from resistance. Go through it, you know? Go through it.
I think the ultimate, one of the main reasons for even being here and talking about all of us here on this planet, at least, you know, is to grow. I mean, yeah, we got a whole lot of other shit we like to do and probably have to do out here while we're here. But the big idea, the main plan is to grow.
Right.
Otherwise, why would we go through all these different things we go through? It's you know what I mean? Like, I know it sounds kind of fucking morbid when I say this, but like, there's been points that really I thought in my head was like, was it just some big joke? Because something, life can be that way. It can be very fucking trickster. It can be almost cruel. It can be almost like a cruel joke sometimes.
I can feel that way.
At least the timing of it, anyway. You know what I mean? At least that's how I felt at times.
Right.
Like, why would I come all the way here and do all this just for to stop here? You know? But sometimes that's just us not understanding the whole plan, the whole vision.
It's always that way.
It's just another stopping point anyway. It's why we shouldn't get too excited about it. You know, celebrate the win for sure. You know, stack another dub. But then after that, keep pushing. Don't look back. Don't try to celebrate too long.
Because back on this complacency thing, like I was saying, is
complacency.
Right. Because one of the things my perspective on life was, and they always talk about it, like not looking at it like it's not a what's the word? It's not a race. It's a journey. It's not the destination that you're after. It's the journey you're after.
This is
right?
ironic.
And when you look at it from a race standpoint, that's the way to get complacent, because you get to that end point, or your so-called end point, and then you go, oh, I'm good to go, I'm done. But see, if you change your perspective and look at it like they say, as a journey, then you will enjoy every single moment, which builds on the next moment, right? So, and that's what keeps you from not getting complacent. Look at it like a journey, not a race.
Speaking of such,
like
a journey and building. I was on the bus today on the way to work, and this dude had grabbed the bar so he can support himself as the bus was going. And I noticed the tattoo on his hand, on the back of his hand. It was the TMC, the Marathon Continues, the Nipsey hustle. And I looked at first, I thought it was a stamp. It was like the logo on his hand. I'm thinking to myself, I ain't gonna lie, I judged at first. I was like, the fuck? Why would you get another motherfucker's logo tattooed on your hand? Right. If they make money or something. You know, that was my initial thought. Right. But then it dawned on me, for one. First of all, this is ironic. We're talking about the idea of non-complacency and the marathon continues. Right. I was thinking about, talking about that today, but I was just like, but the reason why I was talking about it, because I was low-key hating, I was like, that shit's stupid. Why would they do that? But then I was like,
you guys heard him say it. You got a little hater in him.
It is what it is.
So you ever say anything negative about me, you know where it's coming from. You got a hater in him.
That was my initial thoughts. And then I thought about it. Second of all, and I don't want to get too
far. Be your own people.
I don't want to get too far off subject. I have to say this though, because I realized it dawned on me. First of all, a logo is just a representation of who you are. Yeah. Especially on the business level. You know what I mean? Right. It's a symbol. It symbolizes what you stand for. It's what it's supposed to do anyway. Right. That's what logo means.
It's the purpose of it, right?
That's the purpose of using it. Right. Another word for a logo is called a sigil. Right. It's an active sigil. Right. Just know that. So anyway, use that in your fucking business. Right, and you use that marathon continues. That's a mentality. I'm sure. Right. I don't know what Nipsey Hussle was thinking, but I'm sure he probably had in mind that he wanted that logo to live on. Right. You know what I mean? That's the point of doing it. The marathon continues. It doesn't stop when he does.
Yeah, he's building a legacy.
So it was legacy thinking. So I realized, I was like, it's bigger than that though. And I mean, shit, that kid having that tattoo on his hand proves it. Right. His legacy still continue on. The motherfucker believes in the same thing, so he got it tatted on him.
Right. So he wasn't a fan of the logo, he was a fan of the mindset.
The mindset. Right. So it represents a lot. I just wanted to say that. So yeah, think about that when you grow in a business mindset and you're creating a logo. Think about that. How long do you want it to live on? Right. And live past you. Not just for now, is it high? What it means now. What do you want it to mean after the fact? Right.
You want it to go live on so long that when you die, others are gonna pick that up
They'll teach it to
and
other
keep
people.
it going.
Yeah.
They're gonna pick it up and keep going with
Yeah.
that, and it's gonna go on and on and on forever.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what you want to think about when you're pursuing these businesses and stuff like that. Or any goal that you're pursuing. Think about the long term. You know, and the long term mentality is going to keep you. Shout out to Absol, long term mentality. But that is what's going to keep you from getting complacent. That type of mentality. When you think about the destination, you'll get there sooner than you think. You get there and then you get comfortable, and then you don't keep pushing, because I've been there, I've done it before. You know what I'm saying? With so many things. You know, it's easy to do, especially when you're used to reaching goals like myself. You know, I've set a lot of goals and I reach them. You know, not every single one of them, but I'm pretty comfortable with setting a goal and getting there. But then that's that. You know, at least that's how it feels. But it shouldn't. I should keep going, and that's a reminder to myself as well to stay non-complacent. Keep going. Don't get satisfied. Keep going. You know. So
Yeah.
remember it, because I said it.
Yeah, I mean, I think another way to help not become complacent in things is always be willing to change it up. Always be willing to tweak things a little bit. You know?
Always, yeah.
Always be willing to. Matter of fact, I think it just comes with it. You should, like I said earlier, you should always be trying to push it a little bit more. But in other words, readjust sometimes.
Right.
Sometimes shit might have to break down and restart and start over. There's nothing wrong with that. This is a creative process. Creation is a process. You are
Right.
nothing, you're an active creation.
Right.
Even as you're sitting there living here, things are changing around us right now on a molecular, really small level.
The breaking down
You
and
know what I mean?
recreating, breaking down and recreating.
Yeah, or like on a quantum level. I don't know. Fuck it.
Right.
I know I'm not rocket scientist or nothing. I'm just saying I read a couple books.
Talking about quantum level.
Oh my God. But for real, on the real, just be willing to fucking, readjust your energy, your thought patterns, your beliefs. Suspend them at least for a little bit so you can see what still works for you and what don't.
Right. Because what worked yesterday don't necessarily work for you today.
Yeah, that's a damn sure.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
You're gonna be out here looking outdated like a motherfucker, still doing some shit that you did. Yeah, it may work, but how much easier could it work
Right.
if you was just adjust a little bit?
Right. You want to stay efficient. You know? And speaking of that, you say, back to what we're saying, what works one day and what works another, or what doesn't work another. For you personally, what's one thing that did work for you but no longer works, so you had to change it up?
I'm be honest, man. Aggression.
Aggression?
Yeah.
How so?
Because I had natural aggression in me as my personality, and I'm naturally assertive, especially when I really want something. I can be really impatient and sometimes probably aggressive about it. I don't think I'm being aggressive, but I've been told in lots of situations, by lots of different people,
That you're coming off
aggressive. And I just accept the fact that that's just who I am.
Right.
But what I realized, I learned how to channel it a little
There you
bit
go.
better.
Right.
I can't change who I am. I like who I am.
Who you are
I'm
is
not
who
gonna-
you are, and there's nothing wrong with who you are,
but,
right?
But I just learned how to channel it so it doesn't come off that way.
Right.
So
Because parts of you could be more, actually, you channeling it in the right direction, it has more effect. It has more of a positive effect.
then I
to
also
say it like
realized a lot of that. The reason why I
that.
came
That
off
guy's
aggressive.
22, by the way.
The reason why I came off aggressive in the first place is because it built up tension.
Right.
I had a tendency to do that because I'm so passionate. I build up all this energy, and if you get in my way, if I gotta stop a little bit and be calm or stop doing the wave that I'm on,
Right.
it turns into aggression,
Right.
or frustration. You know what I mean? And I can be
100%.
real short with people, especially.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I just channeled it.
Yeah.
Just channeled it.
No doubt.
And it works for me now.
I think for me, one of the ways things that I had to readjust was, it's funny saying this out loud, but I realized I definitely could have learned. I had to learn still learning how to be a better listener, because I'm a talker, as you know, right? So I get these thoughts come to me in the middle of a conversation when someone's talking to me, and I already know what I'm gonna say to that, right? But then I realized how that can be kind of that's not as helpful as I thought it was, because as soon as I have this idea of already set that I was gonna say this, what they said to me sometimes could have literally just changed what I was about to say. Like, oh, well, never mind. I probably shouldn't say that now because it makes no sense based off what the other thing they just said to me. You know what I'm saying? But I'll have in my mind already what I'm gonna say before I say it. I'm like, that's a horrible way to listen. Now I think about it. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's the first thing to tell them. I wasn't even listening
To you, right?
Like when people say you're only listening so I can be done talking, so you can say what you need to say.
Right.
I mean, that's what it is essentially. You
Right.
know, I mean, it's really about being engaged. You know, like really fucking listening,
Right.
then talk. You
Right.
know, but you know, there's a lot of motherfuckers talk that way. They're just like, okay, you done yet? Okay.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Some people sort of on their faces, like my sister. You could tell when she's just waiting for you to shut up so she can say what she got to say.
Right. She's not actually
My
listening.
daughter's like that too.
She hears you, but she ain't
She
listening.
ain't listening. Yeah. She's thinking about what she's thinking about.
Right.
But yeah, you get what I mean, guys.
For sure. You know, make sure to comment, leave some comments, let us know what you think about what we're talking about right now. 'Cause I think non-complacency is a big point to pay attention to, you know, when it comes to this manifestation, goal reaching, and, you know, success, all that good old shit. Not being complacent is a big part, you know.
Speaking of parts, non-complacency, even nature plays its part in that. Trees, they don't stop growing necessarily because something is in its way. It just adjusts and realigns itself and grows around it. Essentially, is what we're saying.
Right.
You know, because it's not complacent. It keeps going. Nature's meant to keep growing. We're just the same. You know, we're meant to keep growing. You know, we regenerate cells. You know what I'm saying? At least you should be. You know, literally that's what we do. Skin cells, anyway. You know, and yeah, man. So growth is really the name of the game. So, and the best way to do that without so many snags on your path to growth is just don't become complacent. That way, when you come across snags, it won't be such a fucking headache. It won't be such a fucking hindrance. You know what I mean? At least mentally it won't, because you know that the name of the game, it already calls for some snags, because you're not supposed to become complacent anyway. You should always be growing. So it'll probably help things be a little smoother on your path if you don't expect to get, to have too much stillness. Get used to change. Get used to change.
Yeah, because everything's always moving, regardless of whether you can see it or not.
Yeah.
Back to what he was saying on the quantum level, everything is always moving. You know, the molecules and the atoms and all that good stuff. Everything's moving.
Yeah.
It's vibrating.
Everything's vibrating, man. Look, man, like I said, I'm not a rocket science, but it's science. It's science. Look it up.
Yeah.
Google that shit. It'll tell you everything is vibrating. I ain't sitting here giving no lesson about it, but it's moving. Everything is moving. Believe it or not, it's vibrating.
Right. Nature, that's just what nature is. It's always moving. Nothing's ever sitting still. So neither should you be.
That's
you
what
shouldn't
that
be
tells you.
moving still either.
Yep. Shit. There's lots of different ways to do it. Don't gotta be boring. Dance, walk. I would show you, but I don't want to, come off as a creep. I'm filming. There's hella people moving right now.
Right.
The birds moving. Everybody's moving.
Right.
The fucking
water's
birds.
moving.
Yeah, the water's moving.
Right.
I mean, the air is even moving.
Right.
Like the breeze.
Right.
That ocean smells beautiful too.
Right.
Yes, it does. So yeah, everything is moving, man. So should you. Keep that blood flowing, man. Keep that life going.
No doubt.
That's what this shit is about. It's about growth, man.
Don't stand still. Don't get too comfortable. What else could I say to that? Keep this shit moving.
Keep it moving, man.
Always.
Stay on your toes. Stay sharp. Shit, life, in my opinion, is probably a little bit more exciting that way.
Yeah.
Now, if you ain't got no focus, it'll get chaotic quickly. Have a little focus. That's all I'm saying. But yeah,
Wow.
Keep the shit moving if you can help it.
Yeah.
Keeps you young. Keeps you happy.
And as a
Keeps you
reminder,
healthy.
keep your mind on the journey. Enjoy every single moment.
Mhm.
Enjoy your little win and keep it going.
Yeah.
Don't get so stuck on it.
Yeah.
Enjoy your little win for sure. Take advantage of it.
Yeah.
And I don't mean little win like that, but I'm saying on the grander scale, that win is nothing compared to the next win that's coming right behind it, right?
For
But
sure.
how you gonna get there if you don't keep moving? You know what I'm saying? So enjoy it, acknowledge it, and keep moving. Stay non-complacent.
Yep.
And with that said,
I love you. I love myself. Yeah, man. Love yourself for yourself.
All right, y'all, we gotta go. Stay up.